Hello, everybody from all over the place. I was looking at the stream of texts coming in, the comments coming in, people from every state in the country, many other countries, people who have been to Omega before, people who haven't. Welcome everyone to this gathering today. I'm Elizabeth Lesser, and I am the co-founder of Omega, and these gatherings have been so important for me, and I know for so many people, so I'm just thrilled to be back with everyone. I think we have about almost 2,000 people signed up to be with us today on both Facebook Live and Zoom. So welcome everybody. We're a big group, and I feel a sense of excitement in myself and everyone else just to be together, and also to be welcoming our guest today, Iyanla Vanzant. So before I get to that, I just want to say how the day's going to go, the hour's going to go. I'm going to talk with Iyanla, and then she's going to lead us in a prayer meditation, and then we'll take questions and answers from everyone. And the way we do that is there's on Zoom, there's a chat icon at the bottom of your screen, and you click on that, and on Facebook Live, there's a comment section, and you click on that, you write your comment there, and write us questions, and our team will check out all the questions and get as many as possible to me, and we'll get through them, me and Iyanla, as the time allows. So as I was preparing today, I was looking back into my notes from the first time Omega did a Zoom gathering like this, a Facebook Live gathering, and it was almost exactly 2 months ago. And at that time, our sheltering in place and social distancing and learning to live with the virus was new. There was this sense of like fear and also almost adventure. How are we going to do this? We can do this. We're all in this together. This is new. And now 2 months later, I don't know if you're like me, but it feels old. It does not feel new. It's almost like, you know, when you're driving in a car with kids and they say, when are we going to get there? And the parents are like, soon, even though the parents know that it's not soon, it's like 8 hours away. Well, that's the way I feel about right now with the virus. Like, we're in this for the long haul. It is going to change things. This is not going to be over soon. We're on this journey together for quite a while. And so when I was thinking, who can help us get past this phase now where we want this to be over, but we know it's not over, I thought of my dear friend, Iyanla Vanzant, someone who has been coming to Omega for many, many years, I think more than 20 years. Whenever she shows up on the campus, it's like a weather pattern blows in. It's a weather pattern of like hope and faith and fierce love, and this dedication to using whatever comes our way in life to change and grow and wake up no matter how hard it is. And I thought, okay, she's the one to help us right now at this exact moment. And I also am a fan of her television show on OWN, which is called Fix My Life. And she helps people pull back the curtain on everything they don't want to look at that needs to change and grow so that their relationships can heal and their lives can become more vibrant and amazing. And she's going to do that with us today. We're going to pull back the curtain and look really closely at what's going on in our country and in our lives, in our personal lives. So are you there, Iyanla?
I am absolutely. I'm waiting to hear that wonderful guest you got on today.
Well, there she is. So I just want to say welcome. And I also want you to tell us all, where are you? What have you been up to?
I'm home in Maryland. And what have I been up to? I've been up to, I'm almost afraid to say it, just enjoying this downtime. I've been in my house. I bought this house 7 years ago. I don't think I've spent 6 consecutive weeks here in 7 years. I have my turtle, Billy, that I rescued from the road. He's with me. And my puppy, Freedom, she's with me. And my great-grandson and my daughter, we all got quarantined here together. So I've been working on getting clear, and I'm getting ready to do an online course called the Spiritual Warrior Training, because that's really what this is about right now. Warriors coming out, to take us to the next level. So I've been working on that, and then doing my daily message on Facebook. I do an antiviral message, living beyond the virus, every day on Facebook. I did 49 consecutive days. Now,
Yeah, I watch them. They're amazing. I love them. They keep me going. So, for people who know Omega and even who don't, tell us what you do when you come to Omega, because I said to you the other day, I can't imagine a summer when I don't get to see you and I don't get to see all those beautiful women that you bring to campus with you. So tell us what you do and maybe what that's all about.
well, we do two things at Omega. We do something usually, not Family Week. What's the other week that we do? I forget the name of the
Retreat week.
Retreat week.
Retreat.
In Retreat Week, every other year, I do Rites of Passage for Women, where we bring women together in their clans, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And we do a week-long training, because, Liz, the women's medicine is lost in the society. We function on a masculine paradigm, and we lose track with our medicine. What is a woman's medicine? What is it that seats her in her majesty? And what is the lesson and the blessing of each of her age stages? It's not just that we get cellulite and the boobs fall. There's some other stuff going on. So I want to prepare the young women that the boobs are going to fall. I want to prepare.
Oh yeah.
I want to prepare the elder women to how
That's not the only things that fall. Lots of things fall.
We are not going to talk about that, okay? So we do that in Retreat Week, but every year we come because when my new class of students comes in for the Innovisions Institute, we do a week-long intensive at Omega, and they're coming in to learn personal development. They'll do a 2-year program with me, or they're coming in to learn spiritual coaching, and that's a year-long program. But we started at Omega in 1994.
Wow.
And the only year that we missed was 2004, which was the year after my daughter died. And I think 2009, we didn't take in a class, but we've been there every year since 94.
You remind me that year when your daughter died, and it makes me think that you have gone through so many, what I call Phoenix processes, where like you walk into the fire of loss and change, and you burn up and you come out changed. And tell us just a little for people who don't know you, because I imagine there are some people on today who don't know your story, a little bit about your story and how you're using what you've learned from all of these Phoenix processes you've had.
Well, I think it goes all the way back to the fact that I'm a woman of color, born of 3 cultures: Native American culture, which is my father's culture, African culture, which is my mother's Dahomean culture, and Latin culture, which is what I was raised in. And as a woman of color in the 50s, in the South, the lessons that I learned, the things that I learned, I was a student that was bused in my school, when 64, when I was going to high school, and we were busing, Brown versus Board of Education. I got spit on and called all manner of wonderful names, and still had to learn how to be tolerant, how to be strong. Raised in the church in a very traditional religious way, which really created a kind of dysfunctional relationship with Creator, Source, God. Depending on where I was. If I was on the reservation, it was Takashala. If I was at my grandmother's house, it was Jesus. Okay. So I think around 16, my life went totally left when I rebelled against everything that I had been taught, because it had been so oppressive, so masculine dominated, so almost spiritually and emotionally violent. And then I think around, I had my last child when I was 21. I had 3 children by the time I was 21. I lived 9 years in an abusive marriage. And so I must have been about 27 when a book fell off the shelf in Borders. Remember Borders? Borders books, right? Book fell off the shelf and hit me in my head, literally. And the book was called This Thing Called You, and by Ernest Holmes. And it literally woke me up. And I started studying, really just, I don't even know what you call it. I can't say personal development. I was just studying something or anything other than what I had been given. So fast forward, I went to college at age 30 with 3 children, took them with me and sat them in the hallway. Graduated at 33, graduated in 5 semesters, summa cum laude, went to law school and practiced criminal law for a few years until I realized I didn't want to be in prison. And I also realized that I didn't go to law school to learn man's law. I went to law school to develop my mind so that I could study God's law, which I did. I was ordained as a minister in, I don't even know when. I think it was in 93. I am a Yoruba priestess, which is the culture of my matriarchal lineage. I am a Lakota pipe carrier, which is the lineage of my father. And I'm a spiritual technician because I've had the benefit and the blessing of understanding spiritual law and principle, not only from a universal perspective, because I studied studied Ernest Holmes and the art, the practice of religious science, but also from a cultural perspective. So I understand spiritual law from a universal perspective, an African perspective, a Native American perspective, and a traditional Christian perspective. And what I was able to do was synthesize all of that down to the commonalities, because my mission in life, as I've been told by my elders, is to be a bridge. So what I do is bridge cultures, bridge religions, bridge people.
That is what you do.
Yeah.
That is what you do.
Bridge language.
That is a bio that most people don't have. I love it. I love it. I loved how you said that you went to law school and realized you were there to study God's law.
Yeah.
And, you know, I keep a quote of yours on my computer. I have a few quotes that I look at every day, and it is, remain open. There is something bigger than you know going on here. And I look at it every day because I can so readily forget that there's something bigger going on. So what is going on, Iyanla?
Well, if you listen to whether it's the Navajo, the Lakota, the Chislaki natives, they tell you there's a purge going on. It's a purge. And it's been coming for a long time. Maybe that's why I'm not so surprised or shocked. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know what it was going to look like. Because we've reached a kind of critical mass where we can no longer continue in the vein that we're in. We just can't. We're so separate and so against and moving so fast. There's so much violence and so much anger and so much suffering. And, you know, the thing about us as human beings, just like me, we really don't pay attention till it hurts. You know your front tooth is cracked and you look like Snagglepuss. But until it hurts, you are not going to go to the dentist. Leave that tooth hanging out there. You will not go to the dentist. We seem to be motivated by pain, which means PAIN. Pay attention inward now. Pay attention inward now. That's what pain means. But we'll take a pill or a drink or we'll do something. So I think this is a kind of a purging, not so much of the earth, but of consciousness. of consciousness. You know, my grandson, you know, he's in that, I don't know if it's Gen X or Gen Y, he's in the 20s, and he doesn't use language. He uses emojis and symbols. So he sent me this thing, LMAO. I was like, what does that mean? You know, he doesn't even use language. My other grandson, who's 14, every Christmas, I take all my grandchildren shopping, and I gave him gift cards. And I just sit while they run around the mall and get whatever they want, because they're old enough now. So he had his gift card, and he had to put it in, and they told him to sign the receipt, coming out. So he printed, and I said, sign it, baby. He says, I did. I said, no, you printed your name. I said, do your signature. He said, what is that? Well, I almost just fell out in the store and gouged my eye out, you know? So these generations that are coming up are missing so many pieces in consciousness, in behavior, in everything. Some of us...
So the people who are parents now listening to little ones and middle-aged ones, what can we do? What can we do, especially now that parents are home with their kids all the time, slightly going mad? What can we do to help our children and the child within us?
Back to basics. Back to basics. Things like eating at the dinner table instead of in the back of the car out of a McDonald's styrofoam box. How about that? How about Sunday dinner consistently every week, where everybody comes together and sits around the table and talks? How about making your bed up before you leave the house in the morning? How about designated days? My grandmother, you know, was meaner than a wet cat, but she taught me some things about order. Tuesday, we had to clean those knickknacks. Wednesday, we had to do certain things. Thursday, we had to wash our clothes, hang them up on the line. Friday, we had to starch them, roll them up, and put them in the refrigerator. Saturday, we had to iron. Sunday, we had to go to consistency, structure, system, order. Our children need SOS, system, structure, system, order, and structure. That's what they need. And so we got to get back to some basics, you know, about family, about culture, about communication. How are you going to divorce me on Facebook? What is wrong with you?
Well, let me read you another quote of yours that I love and come back to. And I've been coming back to it a bunch recently, just because relationships are kind of hard these days, especially if you're in a house with your family and the same person over and over, and not just if you're in the house with people. I've noticed people are getting really testy with each other. Even taking a walk, you know, you can be walking 6 feet away and somebody has a mask and somebody doesn't have a mask, and suddenly somebody's like really angry and saying nasty, combative things. So this is something I hear you say on Fix My Life a lot, but I'm going to read the way you say it. You say, have the courage to speak your mind and tell the truth from a position of love rather than anger or fear, being open to accept the views of others without feeling threatened or defeated, relinquishing the ego's need to be in control by demonstrating the willingness to do whatever it takes to establish peace.
Yeah.
So whatever it takes to establish peace, but at the same time, speak in our minds. How do you find that delicate balance of being a strong warrior, as you say, and being a someone who spreads peace just by being there?
Well, the distinction between a soldier and a warrior is that a soldier follows orders and fights for money. I'm not talking about the military I'm talking about spiritual consciousness. Soldier follows orders and fights for money. A warrior fights to preserve life and the honor of the throne. You are the throne. The thing about this corona, I call it the corona, is that it has triggered up the three basic human fears. Fear of nature, which we cannot predict or control. Fear of the unknown, which includes death and change. And fear of other humans or fear for humans. That's where that testiness is coming from. Because what is triggered up for us right now is fear. We're in fear. We're afraid of the corona, where it's coming. Is it coming through your eyes? Is it coming off the trees? And do you have toilet paper to get through it? And the paper towels, stick them in your ears so you don't get it. We're in fear. We're in fear of the change, fear of the unknown. What is this going to look like when we go back out there? What is it going to look like if I don't get my job back? What is it going to look like? And then fear of death. Oh my God, if I get the corona, I'm going to die. Every day on the news, they give you the death count. Now I think we're up to 94,000. But 5 million people had it and didn't die. So don't call in that you're going to be the one to die if you get it. And if you get it, it's an experience. And then fear of each other. We're afraid of each other now. Don't come near me. You don't have a mask on. I was in the store, and this was early on, and a man walked up on me, really close up on me. Now, I walk with my spray. I made my own spray. I don't know if it kills the corona or not, but it's going back. I made a spray with grain alcohol, witch hazel. Now, none of this came from the CDC. I don't know if any of this works. CDC didn't tell me this. Grain alcohol, witch hazel, tea tree oil, and lemongrass oil, right? So the guy walked up on me, and I took my bottle. I said, he said, what is that? What is that? I said, don't worry, it's going to kill the corona cooties. You know what he said? Can you do my back?
Oh, God, I love you. Oh, my God. Okay, so another question. A while ago, maybe a couple of years ago, you wrote something that I still look at it to remind myself of the truth. It was something like Notes from an Angry Black Woman. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It was after the police killing death of some Black man, one of the many. And you pulled back the curtain on America in the way that I don't know many people who do it the way you do it, in a way that is true and fierce, but everyone can hear. It's not full of finger pointing. It's full of, hey, we're in this together. We're responsible. Are you going to wake up? Are you going to wake up? So you have that show, Fix My Life. How are we going to fix this culture? And is there something now in this slowdown when we're all home? Can we use it for that? Yeah. Can we not waste it? So what are we seeing about our country? And I know you can't tell us how to fix it, but go ahead. How do we fix it?
Well, as growing up Christian, we were always educated to the second coming, the second coming, the second coming. Christ is coming again, Well, yeah, but it's not out there coming. It's coming in us. How do we fix it? We each take responsibility for each step we're making on this planet. The steps we're making on Mother Earth, the way we talk to each other. We have so much violence in our minds. How do we fix it? That we each become spiritually mature, that we each become a spiritual warrior, not on the battlefield of againstness, but on the battlefield of love and peace and taking care of one another. Instead of what I love about this, Elizabeth, what I love about this is that the corona has stripped us of everything we worship. The idol.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The stars, the fame, the fortune, the job titles, you got a Bentley and you can't go nowhere. I told Miss Oprah, I said, you know what I'm excited about? You and Bill Gates with all your money, that you can't even pay somebody to go to the store and buy you some toilet paper if the store ain't got no toilet paper. You have been equalized. We have all been brought low so that we can raise up together. But we're not getting it, Elizabeth. People are looking to get out, looking to get out. I want to get out. What have you done within? Have you gone in yet? Have you embodied the stay home? Have you gone home? Have you got
So beautiful. All right. I am feeling the need for you to lead us in some kind of prayer meditation. But before we do that, I just want to take 2 minutes and say where Omega's at, how Omega's doing.
Please.
Because we're struggling. We're struggling like every nonprofit in the world is struggling. You know, we closed down the campus season, which is our income stream, and so sadly have had to furlough many of our staff. We're down to a small staff, and we're looking toward opening in 2021 with prayer and hope that we can survive this, and not only survive it, as you say, come back stronger, reinvented, and more able to serve the world. I mean, I've been part of Omega for 42 years. Can you believe that, Iyanla?
No, you don't.
40, I was 12. No. And we started so small, just a little idea. And so many of the things that we pioneered that were so weird back in the day, mindfulness and healthy eating and diversity of spiritual ideas, they're like in the mainstream now. And we know we want to survive and strive so we can catch the next big wave, do the next big healing that we feel called to do. So this is my little ploy. If you feel so inclined to support us, I know there's lots of institutions that need our support now, but if you love who we are, you can donate to us. And at the end, there'll be a screen that shows you how. So that's that. Iyanla.
Yes.
Given what you were saying, how we want to just get back and we're so afraid to look within, can you lead us in an inward-looking meditation right now for 5 minutes? Help us find that inner warrior strength.
Yeah. So I would just ask everybody, because you can hear my voice, there's no need for you to see. In fact, there's probably looking is what keeps us off track. So if you would allow your upper eyelid to meet your lower eyelid. I never say close your eyes. I want your eyes open. I want your eyelids together. And I would ask you to just find the rhythm of your breath. Nothing to do. Let the breath breathe you. Find the rhythm. What is your inhale and your exhale? Relax your shoulders and your belly. Find your rhythm. A good way to find the rhythm is to first just listen to the sounds in the room that you're in. Is there a whirling of a fan or the hum of the refrigerator? Is there anything moving? Just listen to that. Listen with your entire being. Once you become aware of the sounds in the room, turn your attention inward and listen within. See if you can feel the vibration, the pulsation of your heartbeat in your hands or your neck. See if you can be aware of the breath as it moves across your upper lip. Just be aware, nothing to do. Notice what's going on inside. From your feet, what's there? Your ankles, calves of your leg, what is present? Your knees, your thighs. Is there any thumping, any tingling, any vibration, any tightness, or is there openness, calm? Your hips, across the pelvic area, all the way around to the coccyx bone, the base of your spine. What is present? Moving up your back and up the front, your belly, your vertebrae, the small of your back, your rib cage, your breast or your chest, your neck, your shoulder blades, your shoulders. What is present? Find the rhythm of your breath. Whenever you find, if there's any tension, tightness, tingling, openness, vastness, just ask yourself, can I just let it be, whatever it is? No need to fix it or change it or investigate it. Can you just let it be? Now ask yourself, what is in my heart right now? What is in my heart? And what does it feel like? And where do you experience it in your body? Is it just the heart? Is it the chest? The throat? Is it the belly? Is it the legs? What is in my heart and where do I feel it? And can I just let it be? Just let it be. And if you want to investigate it, if you want to investigate it, just bring it to your center of your chest and breathe with it. Whatever it is, just invite it to breathe with you. Don't worry about naming it, changing it, making it go away. Just be and breathe. And I would invite you to just allow your face to break into a very gentle smile. And swallow that smile. Send it right down into the center of your chest or wherever your heart is. Just a smile. And as you inhale, smile a little broader. And as you exhale, smile a little broader. Just be with the smile. And whenever you're ready, you may separate your eyelids.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, because I have spent time with you and meditated with you before, whenever I go into meditation with you, I feel my ancestors around me because that's what you've taught me and so many of us to do, to feel how crowded the room is with all the family cheering us on, wanting the best for us. And I've been thinking so much about my parents' generation who went through so much in the Depression and World War II to keep us safe. And I feel this is our generation's time. All the generations alive now, this is our time. And I kind of feel like I want to do it well for them, for my parents and before them and all the beings before who have worked so hard to bring peace and justice to the world. So I keep them in my mind and you being in meditation with you reminded me of that right now.
Yeah. Well, as a Lakota native, we're taught that everything we do, we must do with 7 future generations in mind. So every choice, every purchase, everything you do, you're thinking of 7 generations ahead, and you're pulling from 7 generations behind. Because if I think about the things that my ancestors went through, oh, the beauty of working at home. If I think about the things that my ancestors went through that I will never have to endure, I know
Right.
there's nothing for me to complain about. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So we're going to take Q&A now from the whole community. And again, I'm going to tell you how to do it. You send it to us as a chat or a comment, and then I'm going to be seeing them, and I'm going to ask as many as I can, and keep them coming. And so here's the first question for you, Iyanla. This is a question from Jesse in Alabama, who says, what are your thoughts, Iyanla, about the phrase, we are in this together, considering the different social and economic situations?
We are in it together. And what it is doing is raising up the things that we have to address together. Communities of color have been trying to address their issues, and communities that are of color, or the broader community, the white community, whatever you want to call it, they haven't been paying attention. So we are in this together. And now that it's come to our awareness, it's our responsibility to address it together.
Yeah. And how do we do that? How, in a way that people can hear, do we get that message across?
The first thing is no againstness. No againstness. We have to eliminate againstness, whether it's political againstness, gender againstness, whatever it is, no againstness. I can't do that because, you're going to hell, or you a Republican, or you whatever, a Democrat. No againstness. That's number 1. Number 2, no finger pointing and accusations. We've got to have clear asks. I can't just call you up, Elizabeth, and say, oh, Omega's closed, and I gotta say, Elizabeth, Omega's closed. I want an opportunity to speak to Omega's audience. I mean, if that's what I need, But so very often, the reason the problems don't get solved is because we're blaming each other for the existence of the problem. Mm-hmm. What is the ask? What is the clear ask? I'm asking my local official, my Congress, my Senate, everybody, my organizations, that I'm asking you to address the inequities in healthcare in communities of color. That's what I'm at.
I like that.
I don't care how it happened, why it happened, when it happened. This is what I'm asking you. I'm asking you to make sure that there is money in these, you know what I mean? Or the elderly. Whatever your mission is, we all have a different mission. We can't all do everything. My personal...
That brings the next questioner in. Leslie said, well, how do we use this time now to shift into our particular greater calling?
Do your work. Do your work. Go within. Get your marching orders. It's not going to come from CNN, MSNBC, or Fox. Go within. That's where it is. And we will each be guided and told what to do. But that means we have to be willing to give up our addiction to the external, to the fame, to the fortune, to the job, to the titles, to the material things that we hold on to. I mean, I'm not a fool. I have a big, beautiful house sitting on 12 acres of land. But you know what? I'd give this up tomorrow if I had to. And I would not be any lesser for it.
Suzanne says, my mother is dying in hospice from the virus, and she doesn't have the ability to see her in person. So how does she process and manage this?
Well, why would you need to see her in person? That's a habit that we have been taught to break. 94,000 people in this country have died, passed on to the other side without us being there. And yet we're creating suffering for ourselves by holding on to, she's dying and I'm not there, or he's dying, or my father died. What is another possibility? Is there a possibility that you could do the work to be with her in spirit? Can you get her picture? Can you talk to it? Can you light a candle? Can you have a glass of water? Can you go down in your being, in your body, and be with her? See, again, we're so addicted to the physicality when the real work takes place in the unknown. It takes place in the secret, the quiet, you know? So can you do the work there and then get that, your heart connected with her heart and your energy connected with her energy so that you don't create suffering? You know, everything has an expiration date. Everything, even your mother's life, your life, my life. And when that expiration date comes, it's going to be the same for everybody. We're going to exhale and we're not going to inhale.
Mm. Wow. I love
the corona. Go ahead.
Oh, well, you were cutting out, so I didn't know if you had finished I like how you said the real work takes place in the unknown.
Yeah.
Something about that line just really got me. The real work takes place in the unknown, the mystery.
You know, when you were in the womb, we couldn't see you. We didn't know what you were. We didn't know if your nose was in the right place, if your ears were they supposed to be. We had to wait to get to see it in the unknown, the unseen, the intangible. So I would say to anyone who has someone right now experiencing the corona to do the work in the unknown. Let them know you're there in the unknown, because they're not dying to be in a body. They're dying to leave the body. Meet them there.
Beautiful. Here's a question from Gay. I think that's how you say the name. How do you connect with your ancestors if you don't know your lineage?
They know you. They know you. Call them forward. That's all you do. You call them forward. You go to the earth and you stand there and you invite them in. You invite them in, you know, because their lives, it's in your DNA. It's in your cells. It's in your hair, your nose, your eyes. Call them forward. And you'll find ways. It'll be amazing. The ways that you'll find. Or you can, you know, if you want to do a traditional ancestral practice, you have to see what really works for you. But all you have to do is say, my ancestors, those whose blood is alive in my veins. Ooh.
Here's something from Kamisha, and I think I know what she's saying. She's saying, how do we know we're being real with ourselves and others if our minds and actions are constantly changing? I think she's asking, like, how do I know I'm being real with myself when in my mind I believe in all these different things all the time?
Well, because your soul knows the truth. Soul knows the truth. And if you are in alignment with universal law and principle, you know, I mean, the first one that comes to my mind are the fruits of the spirit, which you can find in most religious teachings, whether it's Buddhism or Judaism or Christianity, you know, kindness, truth, gentleness, compassion. These are fruits of the spirit. So anytime you're not in that energy, you're in your head, you're in your ego. If you're not in peace, if you're fighting to be right, if you're holding on to anything, there's nothing in this world. That's the one benefit as a mom that I can say came out of me losing my daughter. It lets me know, I can let go of anything. Because when they put your child in a box and lower that box in the ground, you got to let go, you know? And so I learned that. So if you're really in it, you know, you ground, you center, the truth will set you free from the illusions that your mind has created.
That's good. Jana asks, how does she cope with the fact that she's ending her relationship while in quarantine?
Naked with some scotch? No.
Good plan.
Or some champagne. Ending your relationship with what? With somebody?
It seems that way, yes.
Are they there? Oh, see, that doesn't give me enough information.
No, it doesn't. I know. And I would say watch any of the episodes of Fix My Life if you want to see some fierce work on relationships, ending and staying together. That show is amazing and intense. And so, Jana, look at some back Fix My Life episodes. I'm sure there'll be one for you.
Or go to Facebook and look at the R Spot. I've done a whole series on relationships, but this is what I would say to her: end it in peace and end it with love. End it in peace. You can still love the person and just be clear that you're not good together, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. So Catherine says she's been cultivating stillness and inner peace in this time, but how is she going to take it back out into the world when she starts going back into daily life?
Take it with you, I hope.
Yeah, she wants some pointers on how to take it with her.
Well, you see, there's a distinction between the doing of a thing and the embodiment of a thing. If you've embodied it, it will go with you.
Amen.
If you've done it, then it won't. So you have to make that distinction. Have you embodied stillness? Have you embodied quiet? Have you embodied that? And if you have, it will go with you. And if you haven't, back to the drawing board.
That is such a beautiful and important distinction. And when I write and when I've taught workshops, that is a distinction I spend a lot of time talking about with people. That, so many of us have read every book and we've gone to so many workshops and we've been in therapy, and there comes a time when you don't have to know. There's not one more thing you need to know. It's really a lot easier to study than to be it, because being it means telling that cranky ego to get out of the way and to step into a very humble way of being. And so I love that distinction you made, the distinction between being it and doing it. You got to be it. So Eric says he knows he's a healer, but he lacks the discipline to start and to do it. What steps should he take?
Well, then you're not a healer. You may have healing abilities or capacities, but if you're a healer, you know that the healing energy comes from source, from creator. And if you're a healer, a teacher, if you are, anything on the spiritual path, your first responsibility is to check in with your source to find out what your assignment is for the day. And if you don't have the discipline to do that, then it'll remain a dormant possibility. I get up in the morning, every morning, and I say, okay, God, what's happening today? What am I doing? Who we teaching? What we doing? And if I don't get nothing, I don't put no bra on, and I go in my scrapbook room. But if he tells me, do this, do that, do this, that's how my spiritual warrior training came about. It was guidance. And I'm too much of a punk not to be obedient when spirit speaks to me. So I would say, if you really know that you have the healing ability and that's your calling, get in relationship with Creator and you'll know what to do.
G. Patrick asks, what do you say to people of all races impacted by the Arbery murder?
I don't say anything. What am I to say? He's not the first. Why are we shocked? We didn't do anything when Trayvon was killed. I can go all the way back to Michael Stewart in Brooklyn in the 1980s, or Eleanor Bumpurs, or Amadou Diallo. I can go back to Emmett Till. Why are we shocked? What have we done to stop it? For me, this is just for me, because I was a Black Panther in the 60s, okay? I got that little revolutionary spirit in there. We should have shut this country down when they killed our babies in Connecticut. Shut it down. I don't care what party you on. I don't care who you get these guns off the street. Shut the whole country down when they went in shooting up our babies. And if we didn't respond to that, it's going to take quite a few more people dying. When the boy went up in the church and we still walking around, one finger in our nose and one of our butt asking what to do. When they killed them babies, we were supposed to shut this thing down. Nothing moves until you tell me how you are going to keep somebody from walking up in the school and shooting my babies. So what is there to say?
That's what there is to say. Wow. Take it in. Leonard says, how do I break the trauma in my ancestral DNA?
Oh, thank you for that question. Thank you for that question. Yes. How do you break the trauma? Become very mindful of every thought, every action, every emotion that you have that does not support your highest and greatest good. And the minute you find it, you bless it and you ask the Holy Spirit, the Creator, Source, ancestors, St. Clair, Michael, Archangel, somebody to come in and free you from it. In that moment, not when you get home, not when you get to church, not when you think about it. No, in that moment, I'm thinking a hateful, ugly thought. I may have inherited that. Holy Spirit, come. I'm feeling less than, ugly, angry, guilty. I must have inherited it. Holy Spirit, come. In that moment, you ask that it be dissolved and released and taken back into the light, moment by moment by moment. That's a deep, sacred work that is absolutely required.
Wow. Stay in there because Linda's asking a similar thing. How do I truly believe that I am worthy to stand in your glory?
How do you believe? A belief is a thought fueled with emotion. So trying to believe something is probably not going to work. Try to feel it. That's where the magic is. The magic is in the feeling. Once you feel it, I'm worthy. Then it'll filter up to the mind. So the masculine and the feminine will come together. It's orgasmic. It's orgasmic. Don't try to believe it. A belief is just a thought fueled with emotion that you thought over and over and over until you no longer know that you're thinking it. Try to feel it.
I love that. It's kind of goes back to the very beginning of our talk, of our conversation, when you were talking about women.
Yeah.
And women trusting what we know. And we've been such an emotionally cut off culture. It's all about the mind. It's all about thinking and money and doing and getting. Meanwhile, there's this rich reservoir of feeling, of emotions, of holy emotions. But women have been told, you're too emotional, you talk too much. And I have so much hope now in women rising and women becoming leaders, because I think there'll be a freeing of people being able to trust their emotional intelligence.
See, you won't have awareness until you have a feeling. Your awareness is in your feeling, it's not in your thought. Can I say a bad word?
Please.
Oh, okay. Here was how I teach my students. When they come, well, how do I know if I'm doing this? Fuck it, do it anyway. You'll be corrected in the process. Well, what if fuck it, do it anyway. You'll figure it out along the way. You know what I mean? Fuck it. It is a powerful skill toward empowerment. What if I'm ugly? Fuck it. Dress up nice. Go for it anyway. You'll get corrected. The key is your intention. What is your intention for acting like you're worthy? What is your intention for putting your hands on to heal somebody? Fuck it, go for it. And if you're out of order, somebody will correct you. Isn't that spiritual?
That's very spiritual. Every word you said. And that is a great place for us to tie things up together now. Um, so I just wanted to make sure you had a chance to talk about this new program you're doing. The fear, something about fear,
You're
because I
not.
feel it all comes
You're not.
down to that.
You're not. It's on OWN every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Where I'm exploring and investigating those three basic fears. And the fact that we're blaming everything on the corona, when the truth is we brought the fear into the quarantine with us. And we've got to figure out what we're going to leave in the quarantine and what we're taking out. And the way to do that is to look at those three fears. And growing out of Fear Not, which started on Facebook, is my spiritual warrior training. I'm taking people through a 6-week process to teach them the characteristics, the creed, the philosophies of a spiritual warrior, because it's a state of mind and a way of being, so that we can begin to embody the things that we say we want to be and do in the world. So Fear Not on television and Spiritual Warriors with me.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm so sorry we didn't get to so many questions coming in. They all were beautiful and worthy. We're getting to the end of our hour now, and I just want to tie things together. First of all, to say, I love you, Iyanla. I bow to you. I thank you. You have been such an important part of the Omega community for so many years, and just of the world community of bringing light into this hurting world. And you give me so much hope and energy all the time. You just give me energy to keep going. I hope that is what everyone felt today, the energy to keep going. It's going to be hard. Who said it wasn't going to be hard? No one ever said that. But we can find that core strength and be bearers of light. It's fun. It's fun to be bearers of light. It's a lot more fun than being depressed and defeated. So
one thing I want to say is, if anybody enjoyed this this broadcast today, I want to encourage you to show your love by making a contribution to Omega. You can make it in my name and make it in my birthday. My birthday is 9/13. So give $9.13 or $91.13 or $913 or $9,9103, whatever. Put your money where your mouth is. That's what a spiritual warrior does. Don't just sit here and enjoy. We need your support. So make a contribution. Tell them how, Elizabeth, before you have to go off.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You can go to the Omega website, www.eomega.org, and you will see right there how to donate. You can join our private Facebook group, the Omega Online Community, because we're going to be offering more of these conversations, as well as workshops that we're developing now. And thank you again, Iyanla. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, sending love and strength to everybody. Bye-bye. Bye, Iyanla. Love you.
Thank you.